Hello, and welcome to this taste challenge. I have two 40% alcohol Canadian blended whiskeys with natural flavor. That doesn't mean much. Bottled in the United States, a common practice, with no website, another usual thing or common thing, and no age statement, another common thing. All right, so these are very common, we could call them. This is Canadian Limited. Some people call it Canadian LTD, but it's Canadian Limited, and they're going. The name came from like in the United States, they'll say like General Motors Incorporated, but in Canada they'll say like so and so Limited. That's the British Commonwealth way. But United States is has started to adopt that in the last 20 years. You see a lot of LLCs, limited liability corporation, but limited is just another way of saying incorporated. Okay, but Canadian Limited, Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Like anything else on earth, it is limited. There's a limited amount of it. It's 40% alcohol. It is an inexpensive kind of linen colored, gold, black colored product. Comes in glass bottles and these huge plastic bottles. Now there's the label with two lions wearing crowns, a beaver chewing on a branch. Fleur-de-lis representing the French people of Canada, and two towns representing King Charles III, King of Canada, the Bahamas, Belize, the Falkland Islands, St. Helena Island, Gibraltar, England, the Channel Islands, and other realms and territories around the world. All right, anyway, been on the market for 53 years at the time of this recording and loved by dozens. There are dozens of people around America who love this product. I see it at Walmart all the time. They emphasize Canada, limited, Canada, Canadian, limited, Canadian whiskey. We get it. It's got that serrated. They do make a glass version of this, but it's serrated plastic. If you go to Walmart, they got the glass and the plastic. But all right. Anyway, here is Canadian Lake, introduced in 1992. Remember 1992? When the Buffalo Bills, well, never mind that. Okay, there's a shield with all kind of Canadian insignia, same type of thing. Canadian whiskey with natural flavors, bottled in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, at Oak Park Distilling Company. I think it's actually in Baltimore County, Maryland, like slightly outside the city limits of Baltimore, like literally 50 feet. But yeah. Okay, this has got this kind of fancy neck bottle, but it's all plastic. Even if you buy this cheapo in a regular size bottle, it's still plastic. No glass here. But there are glass versions of this fancy neck bottle, or I should say shoulder. I call that the shoulder. Head, neck, shoulder, body. Price point, yeah, they're pretty much the same, about $15.99 each, $15.99 each for these huge jug bottles. Now, when I bought Canadian Limited years ago, International Market had it on deep discount for $10.99 for this huge bottle. And they must have had a pallet, like a huge, like hundreds of bottles, or at least 100. Maybe 96 bottles. I don't know. It was crazy. And I'm telling you, in less than a week, it was all gone. Maybe 5 days, it was all gone. So you say nobody buys that cheap Canadian whiskey. Well, they did it in Louisiana when it was $10.99 for this huge bottle, and it was gone. Like I went back a few days later, and it was like half the pallet. Next time, gone. I said, oh yeah. There's a point where people in Louisiana are going to buy all of it. Now, did they buy it and think it was awesome? No, they bought it and thought it was cheap, and that's why they bought it. You say, I can't find the website for this one or that one. Yeah, and you never will. Although there used to be a website about 10 years ago, there was actually, but was even less than 10 years ago, I think. But Sazerac decided to revamp their website. And what they did was, if it's not a premier product like Myers' rum, you're not going to see it. They'll put Myers' and Cane Run, but stuff like Fleischmann's rum or what they call that one? King. Kings Bay. Yeah, Kings Bay rum. You'll never see a website listing for that. Not gonna see it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna. All right. Well, the appearance is basically identical since I think the products are basically identical. Did they originate from the same source? No, not really. No, actually not at all. Canadian Limited was introduced in 1972 by a company called Fleischmann's Distilling. They used to make, well, all kind of stuff. Fleischmann's vodka, Fleischmann's rum, Fleischmann's gin, Fleischmann's blended whiskey, maybe Fleischmann's straight bourbon. I don't know. I wasn't really buying whiskey in 1972. They made yeast. You know, you can still get the yeast at the grocery store, Fleischmann's active dry yeast or quick rising yeast, whatever. But that's been detached. But that was the thing on that. But because yeast is related to whiskey production. But yeah, they sold out like all the other companies do, and now it's under control of the Sazerac company. But if you look at the label, you will see that actually. If you look at the label carefully, it says Fleischmann Distilling Company. Okay, you say, oh, I heard of them. But then if you look over here, it says, we love to hear from our customers, Sazerac.com. Oh, and they give you the Buffalo Trace phone number. So you actually call Buffalo Trace Distillery. So, yeah, they have so many branches of their empire. Canadian Lake. Now, I don't know who started that. It could have been a Sazerac Oak Park Distilling. I think, actually, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure. I think Oak Park Distilling was one of those Seagram's distilleries. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Seagram's, and they made Calvert, which are pretty popular American blended whiskey, and a lot of stuff there, and it's like a distillery, been there since the 1800s. But back in 1989, when Seagram's, their owners, decided to start exiting the liquor business, they sold a whole bunch of stuff to Sazerac. Distilleries, brands like this. Well, this wasn't created yet, but Canadian Leaf might have been. But a bunch of brands like Dr. McGillicuddy's Fireball, still around, but it's no longer called Dr. McGillicuddy's. It's just Fireball. You know how popular that is. They sold Canadian Hunter, James Fox, both from Canada. They sold Sazerac. Oh, it was like a major purchase. They sold them like a big chunk of the company, and then they turned right around and sold another big chunk of the company to Heaven Hill. Then they turned right around in 1994 and sold another big chunk of the company to Jim Beam. And then 6 years later, they just decided they're getting out of liquor. Totally, we're getting out of liquor. Like, we're getting out of it. They sold all the rest of their assets to whoever wanted to bid on it, which was mainly Diageo and Pernod Ricard. Not totally, but mainly. They just bought up all of it. So anyway, but kind of how this stuff came under the current umbrella. Can you find Canadian Limited pretty easily? Oh yeah, it's a simple thing. Canadian Lake, well, in Louisiana, no, you can't really find it too much. But Total Wine was selling it, which is why I bought it. It was so cheap, so I figured $15.99. I could live with that. Bottle's gonna last me my lifetime, probably. I say that in a joking manner, but it's probably true. Actually true. All right, let's see if they sell Canadian Leaf. I seriously doubt it, but Walmart will trick you. Some Canadian Lake. Sorry, I can't get it straight. Canadian Lake whiskey. I doubt it, but they might sell it at some of their locations. No. They got some non-alcoholic whiskeys, which is a little odd. But they do have Canadian Limited and this Caliber, which they always, Caliber's prices drop right back down, even with the tariffs. Well, they already bought these. These were before the tariff. Yep. $15.98. Actually, it's a little bit cheaper than Total Wine. It's 51 cents cheaper. I'll show you what Walmart says. 51 cents. I can save 51 cents at Walmart, which is only less than a mile away. So Canadian Limited, there you go. There's the blow up. You see it. And they show the bottle multiple times for some unknown reason. Like you got to keep seeing it, right? Ingredients. Grain. Not just grain, some natural flavors too. A versatile whiskey can be a great addition to a variety of cocktails or simply drink neat. Thank you, this huge bottle. One of the most popular value Canadian whiskey brands in America since 1970. That's not a lie. That's actually true. Notice they didn't say one of the best. They said most popular. Canadian Limited is overseen by Sazerac's world-renowned master blender, Drew Mayville, who started at Seagram's. He must be getting pretty old by now. 80 proof. Yeah, that's all true. All true. Let's see. Anything else that they're saying? Aromas and flavors of maple, sugar, vanilla, and spice. Yep. I don't know about well, maybe. With a dry yet fruity medium body. Okay. Warm peppery finish. I don't know about the peppery finish. This whiskey is wonderful in numerous cocktails. Yeah, it's more like adequate mixing in numerous cocktails. I don't know about wonderful. Maybe more like adequate. Drew Mill, who had experienced 23 years at Seagram's, the fourth and final master blender of the Seagram's dynasty until Sazerac bought it, so obviously he had to start working for them. Let's see. Canadian whiskey, aromas of sweet honey, grain, and raisin chutney. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. No way. What are you talking about? A rich palette of vanilla nuts and a touch of earthiness. Overboard. Manufacturer, Sazerac Company. Walmart. You undermine their facade. It's supposed to be Fleischmann's, but here you are putting Sazerac Company, since that's where you bought it from. Southern Glazers Distillery, distributors. Oh, look at 10 highs, 16.27. 29 cents more for a bourbon whiskey concoction. You know how sometimes you want to buy a bourbon whiskey with natural flavors, and the viewers are saying, no, I never actually thought about having the desire to do that. Well, if you do, go on to Walmart. And all kidding aside, a lot of viewers will say, Walmart does not sell whiskey. I've had so many viewers tell me, Walmart doesn't sell liquor. Well, it does in Louisiana. Not in Mississippi, no. Not in New Jersey or Alabama. But in Louisiana, we don't have the law where you have to sell liquor from a liquor store. You can sell liquor from a grocery store, a gas station, a convenience store, a baseball stadium for college baseball. True story. maybe a kids amateur softball league. I'm not even joking. If they get a liquor license, it seems like it's pretty easy to get a liquor license. So my whole life, well, since Walmart came here in 1985, well, not my whole life, but Walmart always sold liquor. It's just a section that says adult beverages, and you go in there with your shopping cart, and there's the rum section, the tequila section, the Irish whiskey, Scotch whiskey, Canadian, so forth, all that stuff. And it's just normal. So our experience is having to buy liquor at a liquor store is abnormal. We do have liquor stores in Louisiana, but they're rare, very rare. There are none in my town. Somebody tried to open one in my town about 8 years ago called, what they called that place? Something jugs. But it didn't make it because it's like, well, who would go there? There's no way you're going to sell your stuff as cheap as Walmart. That's not going to happen, right? There's no way. You will be out of business in a week. Secondly, if somebody's at Walmart buying diapers or crackers or potato chips or shoes or socks or T-shirts or caps or tires or motor oil or greeting cards or toothbrushes, whatever, whatever they sell, grits, mayonnaise, they're just going to pass by the liquor section and buy liquor. They're not going to make a special trip to your nice little liquor store to, and I felt bad, because I went in there when they first opened and I was like, I can see these people are trying really hard. They got everything so nicely displayed. It was all like so careful. The cooler with their malt beverages, so careful. Oh yeah, it was called Jam's Bottle Up. Jam's Bottle Up. But I was thinking they're never going to make it because they are not in an area that can support a liquor store. And so, of course, they're out of business. The store is empty, up for lease. I don't know how Hocus Pocus makes it in Prairieville, Louisiana, or Lake Charles, Louisiana, or Alexandria, Louisiana, but they still going strong there. I can't explain that. But I know around here, forget it. These parishes around New Orleans, you ain't making it if you're a liquor store when everybody can buy liquor at the convenience store. So enough of that, but that they sell liquor at the college baseball games I go to. And most states, that's definitely not even, they don't even sell alcohol at college sporting events. But that's changing, but here they over there selling cocktails. Some people can't handle it. That's true, but they got the police, campus police, city police watching them to tell them to leave. They've had a few instances where they were cutting up. They said, get out. And they leave. They don't want to take a ride, so they leave. All right. So the appearance is golden, slightly amber. This one seems lighter, but it pushing in front of the light. Nah, they're the same gold, mostly gold. Now I have 3 wins and 1 loss. Do I expect the losses to start piling up? Yes, until I get off this Sazerac run, because Sazerac, they do so many Canadian whiskeys, but there's only one little problem. They almost all taste the same. Not all, but mostly all. Now, does Sazerac own some Canadian whiskey brands of which I'm not aware? Oh, most likely. I'm sure they do have some that I've never heard of. In fact, seems to me every time I turn my head, they got a new one coming out. I'm over there at Winn-Dixie here. They got Canadian Canadian Reserve. No, that's at Albertsons. Okay, so now I know it's Sazerac because they leave these little telltale signs, that you can just tell it's them. But I'm like, there's like a 3-year age, and there's an 8-year age, and I think there's like a 12-year age. They're kind of pricey, but I mean, they're probably worth it. But and then when Dixie has this whole new Canadian thing, and it's from Sazerac, you can just tell. But they're not like super low end like these. They're a little bit, actually a good deal nicer, and I would like to try them. Okay, so I have them well mixed, but yeah, I mean, there's probably so many. There's probably a Fleischmann's Canadian Limited. I mean, a Fleischmann's Canadian whiskey. They probably have a brand called Fleischmann's Canadian Blended Whiskey. I've seen the Fleischmann's gin and the vodka locally, Metairie, Louisiana, but I never seen like everything that they make. Since it's not possible. You could never see everything they make. I mean, Sazerac got more brands than Carter's got liver pills. So you can just get little samples of it, but you'll start noticing some commonalities with their stuff. Their bourbons tend to taste very similar one to another. Not identical, but very similar. And I know people be waiting in line at 5:30 in the morning to get a Sazerac bourbon for $90. You say it's better than Benchmark. Yeah, but then you start sipping on it and you're like, is it really that much better? And is it really that different? It's the same mash bill. They just kept it at 90 proof or 110 proof, whatever they brought it down with water. And they aged that one for 7 years. They aged Benchmark for 3. So it's like, yeah, it's 4 years older. They just didn't water it down as much, but you're paying $90. I don't know. I mean, it's however you want to approach it, but you could do a lot. Even this day and age, you could do something with $85 every time you're buying something, but it's your money. Do what you want. I'm not here to trumpet Benchmark or defend Benchmark. I'm just talking about the reality of it. Okay. But no, you do not have to get on a waiting list to buy any of these. It's vanilla. See, like it's sort of like what they say on the website I just read off of Walmart.com. It's sort of like that, where it's sugary and like butterscotch, whatever they were saying, like, like a confectionery thing, like cake icing. But then you smell it and it's like, well, it doesn't smell like raisin chutney. It's the same here. It's like, it smelled like corn. It smelled like corn grits, smelled like kind of stereotypical Canadian whiskey, but raisin chutney and Scandinavian sugar leaf, Dianetic sugar. It's like, it doesn't really, I don't think it smells like that. Burley Sullivan says, you. Hey, Burley, cheers back to you. 1,200 hobos. So I'm not exaggerating when I say limited is undrinkable straight. I'll never understand it sticking around. Well, I'm drinking it straight, so. But right, it's all the time at Walmart. These big jug bottles, and you can get the glass if you want to. You're not really actually saving money because you're paying more per ounce. So actually the glass bottle is the worst value because you're getting a smaller bottle and you're paying more per ounce. But, some people won't do plastic. I get that, But it's there on the shelf and it's They always have it in stock, and it's always, you know, you can always tell the bottles are fresh. You know, they're not tattered or anything. It's like always fresh, always coming in. I see Canadian Limited coming into other stores. Oh, let me go get my Canadian Limited. And now you're saying, but why? Right. What's the attraction? He says the vanilla, man. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Take off that beret. Yeah, yeah, vanilla-ish. Now, corn. Do I take exception to corn? I don't take exception to corn. I mean, bourbon is mostly corn. If you want to get techno, bourbon is corn liquor. It's corn whiskey with other things added if they choose. They don't have to add anything else. They can make it 100% corn. I've never heard of a bourbon that's 100% corn. Oh, but they're probably out there. So which one has a better aroma? Well, I think this one's a little too vanilla-ish. That's screaming Canadian Leaf. I'm sorry, Lake. Can't get that straight. Identical label. And that's a little bit more refined, like this much little. Okay. Which one of these would I buy? You mean buy on purpose? Like without doing a taste challenge? Obviously, I would never buy them. But I mean, to in a hypothetical sense, which one would I buy if I wanted to actually enjoy them just to drink? Whatever one was cheaper. And if it was a penny difference, I'd save the penny. And that ain't a joke. And you are not been my boss. Okay. Let's get on the vanilla train, folks. Hey, you like vanilla? This might be one for you because it is very vanilla-ish. It has a vanilla-like, vanilla-ish, vanilla approach, approximating vanilla in a very vanilla manner. Let's go over here. Now this one's more into the almonds. You say almond joy. If you said that, I would maybe take it as an insult or as derision or you're making fun of me, but actually you kind of right, because there is almost like a coconut under, I don't know about shaved coconut, but like a coconut under flavor. So a little drier, a little sweeter, body's medium on both, finishes like like mostly dry, I guess, but you say somebody's got to be there for $15.99. And those are the ones. Those are the ones. Well, actually, that's $15.98. Save a penny. Drewski Brewski says Ronaldo Buffaldo. Ronaldo Buffaldo. Cheers. Cheers back to you, Drewski Brewski. Oh, they're running late. Waste management. They usually get here at 5 o'clock in the morning when it's dark. Now here they are, 9:23. But I mean, sometimes their trucks do break down, stuff like that. Beautiful weather. Look how clear it is out, Scott. You can see how sunny it is. Blue skies. Low humidity. Yes, very vanilla. You'll get a corn under flavor and you'll get a little rye spice. Admittedly, there's a little touch of wood, like very little. Malted barley, I don't know about all that, but there's some kind of like, There is a whiskey flavor there, and a lot of vanilla. Child, you just hung up on vanilla. I'm not hung up on vanilla. They hung up on the vanilla. I'd love to know what vanilla flavoring company is in contract with Sazerac, because they must be making a lot of money by right about now. You say, what about the almond extract companies? They're probably making a lot of money too. Um, Obviously, no one, and I mean no one on this planet, this world, this big blue marble, is gonna buy these two and think, yeah, this is a really good substitute for Crown Royal. Only an idiot would think that. But even an idiot wouldn't think that. They would say, no, it's a bad, it is. You're a genius, Drewski Brewski. Um, yeah, no one is going to buy these as a substitute for Crown Royal. Nobody in their right mind would do that. Now, Rich and Rare Reserve, that's a different story. You might do that and you can get away with it, and you can trick people with it. These two are going to fool no one. And you do fool no one, but they're not trying to. They're not even trying to do that. They're not trying to play that game. They're just putting it out there on the shelf like, yeah, it's really cheap. It's got natural flavors added. That's why it's $15.98 or $15.99, and you can buy it or not buy it. It don't really matter. And so that's Sazerac's approach, and I like that straightforward approach. It's like no shame, and then they have this like comical description of the product, and I like the way they do it, like straight face. They don't try to be all like buddy, fraternity buddy, college guys hanging out, good friends, good times. They're just like, they just give it to you straight with a exotic and an exquisite raisin chutney flavor, and you're tasting it like, no, I'm pretty sure that's not right. But they just play it straight. It is so comical. But good morning, Jay. I hope you have a blessed day. Same to you, Jason. Same to you over there in Seattle. All right, so the final assessment. Yeah, it's kind of like when you say, like, it is what it is. People say, well, it is what it is. And these definitely are what they are. You say everything has its place. It does. I'm trying to. I do have words, but I'm going to choose to not say those words. Okay. So let's just say they exist. They are an objective reality. These products actually exist. People actually buy these. Now, you can take that any way you want. But I think with the little overt vanilla thing, it does have oak underneath and corn, like I said. But with the overt vanilla, it's got to be the Canadian Lake. I got it. So that's my clue. I'm going to use that clue the whole time I do this now. I'm just going to look for the vanilla. Like you say, what you need to do is listen for the silent E. Listen for the silent E. And that's what I'm going to do. That's my clue. I'm going to listen for the silent E, or in other words, look for the vanilla, as they call that. And I think I might get it more times than not. So that puts me at 4 wins and 1 loss. And I'm very thrilled with that, because I'm quite thrilled, because I thought it would I really thought this Taste Challenge series could be a monstrous disaster. Still could end up in a pretty bad way, but I'm thinking it's not looking so bad. Yeah. I'd rather eat almonds. So Personally, I would go with the Canadian Limited. And somebody already said that's undrinkable straight. It's not undrinkable straight. Now, you can drink it, but you might question, like, but why am I drinking it? Like, what is the, is there some kind of problem here? Or do things, should I reconsider things? Do things need to be reevaluated? You can bring in all of those questions. But I mean, it's not so bad, but I can't think of a situation in which I would recommend it. He said, well, you got a big bottle. I know, I told you, Sandra gave it to me. She said, you want this huge bottle? It was like full up to here. She said, I took one drink of it. And that was right when she said that was right when I gave up drinking. She didn't get rid of this because she didn't like it. She just gave up drinking. She would have still put it in her iced tea. She used to take iced tea and ice cubes and put a little, she didn't care what. She went to Walmart, whatever was cheapest she bought, But I said, yeah, I'll take it. Naturally, of course I'm going to take it. I'll put it in my taste challenges. So she gave it to me. There it is on the shelf. But I do think, honestly, the Canadian Limited is probably a little bit, like, just a very little bit better. But we'll give the win to Canadian. We'll give the win to Canadian Limited. Been on the market for over 50 years. 10 million drunks can't be wrong. I mean, what did I say? 10 million whiskey evaluators can't be wrong. All right, well, y'all take care. Oh, yikes. Now, you say, is it going to get worse? It ain't going to get worse, but it ain't going to get better anytime soon because I got James Fox coming up. You say, oh, Lord, James Fox. And then I got Canadian Hunter coming up. And other people are saying, Canadian Hunter, what is he? What is the man going mad? He's going crazy. Man's going crazy. I got him. Oh no. But unfortunately the answer is, oh yeah. Thanks for watching.